Shroud and with Joshua Schmidt and his Sky Striker deck, as he has actually brought the pure version of the deck, the all-time fan favorite, of course equipped with plenty of new cards, and Joshua is piloting that deck here.
Oh, and it seems like Diogo might have some knowledge about that, because a Fumalos is not always a card you are using in draw or standby phase, but versus Sky Striker it makes a lot of sense, and Josh says, yep, that was a good play, but I'm going to have the answer for it right here in my hand.
Yeah, he decided to activate the Ash Blossom in response because the first play
I
is
love
of
Sky
course...
Striker Ace Ray.
Yeah.
We all do, sure enough. So do we use the effect?
I think so.
It looks like we do, yeah.
We want to special summon the Zero, of course, the new addition to the deck, and just try to search for an engage.
What a way to start this match. Joshua winning the die roll, and on the note of that, of course we know that Sky Striker has historically been one of those crazy going second decks involving cards like Lightning Storm and Heavy Storm and so on and so forth. But nowadays it has more so turned into going first deck, and that's also what Joshua is doing. And I mean, we all know that historic engage into engage moment.
Against
and
him.
Joshua was on the other end, on the receiving end of that, but maybe today is the day to turn it all into his favor.
He's gonna want to draw a lot of these cards. That is not the best start for the Sky Striker deck, however. Of course, starting with Ray is always good. You have to get to at the linkage here. With linkage, you can do some funky things. You can go into a Kagari, add back the engage, and then later on go into Shizuku. However, then Shizuku does not have the best targets in the deck anymore. And also, this round you have also already summoned a Zero, which means that you cannot summon it this round again in the end phase.
Absolutely, and usually with Sky Striker, what you want to do is use the new Radiant Typhoon card, like the Vision. Vision is very good in the draw phase, and you want to chain the linkage so that you are able to make all the card advantage during the draw phase, activate the engage during the main phase, while your graveyard is almost loaded with those spell cards, because we know that the Sky Striker cards, they want to have a lot of spell in the graveyard. For now, this is not the best engage, as you just mentioned before, because you don't draw with the engage, which is what you want to achieve, which is what you want to do to just get the most out of your cards and try to interrupt the opponent on the next turn. Because let's face it, the interruptions with only the monsters for Sky Striker, they're not the best, even with Zero.
I mean, at least finally there are some with the Zero just to get a pop on the opponent.
Okay.
But you're right, Vision, Chain, Linkage in the draw phase is already 3 spells in graveyard and searching an engage, which is insanity. But now we have only 2 spells in the graveyard.
But still, that's the second engage. I mean,
yeah, but
that's not too
how
bad.
does a second engage help you if you haven't drawn for any of them?
I guess, yeah.
Might as well be a hard draw anchor.
You're right. I can get behind that. But okay, we link off the Kagari now. Will that be the classic Shizuku that we are trying to search within the end phase, or is there something more fancy?
I think it's kind of best.
Okay. I respect that.
I'm joking.
I mean, if we would have not gone through linkage here this turn yet, oh, look at that, we actually summon Hayate, and I think there's a pretty easy explanation to this, because in this modern iteration of Sky Striker, of course, one of the most powerful going first interruptions that we can provide is Sky Striker's special maneuver, Lemnis Gate, and that one needs to target an equal number of Sky Striker Ace monsters and Sky Striker spells in the graveyard, and you're trying to get to a total of either 3 or 6 in the end, which enables to put cards back into the hand or extra deck of your opponent, and therefore having that extra Sky Striker monster in the graveyard can definitely help.
Actually, you can't get to a total of 3 because you have to take the same amount, so you have to get at least 4 to get a bounce.
Okay, my friend. I will accept your complaint.
Going first.
Happy Valentine's Day. But okay, I think that is the end of the turn. 4 sad cards. That is, for Sky Striker, pretty decent. But you gotta ask yourself, what are those cards? Surely Lemnis Gate is in there when you are actually showing that play with the Hayate. Probably also Widow Anchor, and then other cards are very popular, like Forbidden Droplet. Also, the Fallen the Virtue is very popular in this deck too now, so let's see. But Diogo is now also revealing what he is on, and he is on the most popular deck in the room, and that is Draco Tail branded.
And I will say, I've been walking around the top tables a little bit in the last round. there's basically no Dracotail. In the first 10 tables, there was not one single branded Dracotail deck.
Really? Because last round there were a lot of them in the top
well, I mean,
table.
we still have plenty of people in the room that are XO or X1, but so far there was not a lot.
And that's so strong. Being able to chain the Fallen of the Virtues, we've seen that before during the past rounds, and this is so strong because, of course, Josh here wanting to negate the ED card, and it will not negate it. So, literally, you activate the card, but for nothing.
Yeah, Diogo still wants to go, but there is another Forbidden Droplet making sure that this Fallen shall be negated.
And that is so sick, because then afterwards, after it got negated, it's gonna be destroyed. Therefore, it won't resolve, but it also won't be. Oh,
you can't do that. You can't do that. Of course, because you cannot chain a spell card thanks to the effect of the droplet of Josh.
And I mean, Joshua immediately recognizing that, of course. Veteran of the game, has been playing this game for so long, but still so in touch with what's going on at every moment in the game and in every meta game. And I think, actually, this Sky Striker deck that he has brought here to the tournament is somewhat of a specific counter towards that Dracotail branded deck, because the matchup just seems so favorable with those Forbidden Droplet and linkages, always being able to dodge against Dracotail Flame. That's just such a good card.
As well.
Same, yep, same. Oh.
But also, it's so interesting sending Ecclesia the Black Dragon, which is a good extender for the deck, but also just being able to send it off of the Fallen and the Virtuous, just to play through your opponent's fields with the cards that you send off of Fallen and the Virtuous and the White Dragon. It's insane, these new cards.
No response there, so one card just gone. And I mean, that may have been the Lemnis Gate, right? Just that could be problematic, but it doesn't look as problematic as Diogo just sets two cards and wants to pass back over to Josh. And I mean, Josh, with the surge from Shizuku in the end phase, and of course, just having the chance to just go into Kagari, just grab that engage back with now finally 3 spells in the graveyard, I think that looks pretty favorable for Josh here.
Absolutely. I think this is where the Sky Striker strategy just thrives and is the best, because on turn 3 you are able to build so much advantage and try to grind the game and outgrind the opponent. Usually the Dracotail strategy is very good at grind game, but for now we didn't resolve a single Rahu, a single Ketu, or anything that is able to fuse.
And this card has become a staple in Sky Striker decks. Radiant Typhoon Vision. It is sure enough not a pure Radiant Typhoon deck, which we are seeing plenty of in the tournament as well, but this card just works so well with all those different quick play spell cards that the Sky Striker deck is offering. You can just discard Widow Anchor, linkage, all of those things easily.
Now, since we've discarded the Hornet Drones, there is a chance that if the hand of Josh is not the greatest, this Dracotail might sting, because taking out the engage that is targeted with Kagari, plus as an extra getting out the Ray, that might hurt a little bit actually. If you have the Lemnis Gate set still, you can chain that to that, put those cards back into your deck or extra deck, and then deny the draw at least. By the way, there is no draw. There is no Dracotail cards in the graveyard, so Josh is like, yeah, we trade actually 0 for 1 here. That's fine.
And I think there is another Striker monster or not. I mean, it's actually interesting that we gave up on the Hornet Drones, because Hornet Drones could have also offered us access into 0 again, which would have been another way for that engage once more. But it seems like we are heading into the battle phase?
I thought there might be a chance you actually try to grab the Mystical Space Typhoon from
I would have liked that as well,
True that. It works.
Okay,
but I think
we are in the battle phase. Look at this. All of a sudden, that overwhelming situation that Josh was in maybe slows down a little bit, and maybe the pendulum is swinging a bit in towards Diogo's favor, because there is a bunch of top decks that he can find.
Yeah, true that, but for now, there is the linkage, and that is such a card, because now we are able to go into the 0, and the 0 is such a good card over here.
0. Do we even use... This is interesting. Do we use the effect?
No, in my opinion, you just battle with the 0, and after that you just activate the 0 effect, you special summon the
another 3,000.
Easy. Quick mass. I think this is just...
That's game,
That's game. That's literally game.
Though, because I know that Diogo has a droplet there, so I think he might have just activated it before his opponent could use a droplet.
That's still game, though, because he haven't used Ray just yet, so I feel like... I mean,
if you attack and your opponent droplets discards a monster, you can't use 0 at all.
So maybe he played around that really well.
Or even in the damage step.
Okay, so wait, they're on 59, so that's 29 remaining. This ain't
That
it
was
just
not
yet.
an attack with the 0. That was playing around Forbidden Droplet, and I like that. Playing around Forbidden Droplet in the main deck of a branded Dracotail? Wow.
Oh, Desires in main phase 2. I love that this card is a thing in this deck. It has always really been, but it's just giving up 10 cards from your deck. Sometimes that can be crucial, just banishing all of those engages, but the engages are already in rotation, so we don't really worry about that too much anymore.
It is kind of, you know,
The classics. The classic draw cards. Upstart Goblin. Come on, another one. Just drop another Upstart Goblin. I can feel it.
I mean, it wouldn't be too great to give your opponent so many life points, even though Sky Striker, if there is one deck that actually pushes through this quite well, I would say it is Sky Striker. Now let's see what Josh decides to do with those monsters in the main monster zone. Do you go for an Azalea or a Zeke? The thing is, you haven't resolved the Lemnis Gate, and yeah, there it is. If you do not resolve Lemnis Gate with your Sky Striker deck, sometimes it becomes incredibly awkward to play with the deck. You don't want to waste it, because then you know that's an interruption gone.
True.
But if you do not use it, your resources are dwindling. If the Kagari gets taken out, sometimes you have to use the 0 like that, so you don't add a follow-up engage. Now you're all of a sudden sitting there, no Kagari effect. I think what we try to do is to give us a really good Shizuku in the end phase, maybe get rid of the linkages in the graveyard.
Hear me out though. What if we would have activated the Lemnis Gate before the battle phase, or in
would have loved that.
some process of, or some step of the battle phase? Then it would have been in the graveyard. And then imagine we would have used Ray Effect, summon out something. Oh wait, then we miss out on the effect of the first Link monster to attack, because I was about to calculate maybe a way to 8,000 points of damage.
I think you could have just done it at the beginning of the turn.
Yeah. Probably. But it doesn't help you deal more damage, that's the thing.
Actually, then I would have used Kagari, target engage, and then when Dracotail Sting is chained, then you can do it.
Yeah, oh yeah, that would have also been good.
But it's gonna be the good old Shizuku with one set, only one set, and it's gonna be it for now. It's a very grindy game, and we can feel there is a lot of tension, because there are many top decks for Diogo which are very, very good.
Yeah.
If the Rao or the Kato resolves, I mean, that can be hard for Josh.
Leo, you praised the playing around the Forbidden Droplet, but I don't know, like if they would have just dropleted the 0, that would have not been too much worse.
Tell me.
Destiny draw of Diogo right now. A Draco Tail in hand.
yeah.
Josh
It resolves.
One set card. You know what's really good against one particular set card? That is
the
Draco Tail.
Orgula.
Yes.
Wow.
And the Phimena as well.
All of a
By
sudden,
the way.
Diogo finds himself in a fantastic position.
Wow. We
mean-
talked about the top decks, and all of a sudden, yeah, the top deck was absolutely amazing. You talked about the heart of the cards, and we can see it right there, the Arcelion being special summoned, and we are going to just try to get rid of the set cards, so it might just be gone.
I mean, what a moment. You're playing against
Anchor?
that big figurine. You're playing against
Anchor?
Joshua Schmidt.
It better be Anchor.
Oh, it's called by the grave. Well, that at least helps to have one less card to set.
It is
but
okay, it is
No,
okay, but not that good.
That saves you somewhat if you Oh. Okay. If you banish the Phimena, you get to set a K2 at max, and then you can play a little bit with that. But Urgula, yeah, okay. I think that's definitely the correct one.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, we're targeting the Fallen of the White Drag with the Arthalion. I was super
Looks like
confused.
it.
Right? I was
Yeah.
why would you ever call by the grave the Fallen of the White Drag here?
That never was the plan. K2 Dracotail was set, and Diogo now. Really, he was with his back against the wall, but Joshua has somehow given him a way to possibly be participating in this match all of a sudden. And honestly, from this point on, I can see Diogo taking over here.
I mean,
Yeah.
in Germany we have a saying that means Diogo right now is am Drücker. So he's pressing, and I think that he's in a really good spot right now. Josh had the control over the game completely for 2 turns. All Diogo needed is one entry into the game, and he found it.
And now he's getting out of control with this K2 Draco Tail. And he's got everything that he needs to just end the game, I guess.
That is a very solid point. Normal summon Lucias also helps. The thing is, when you banish the Urgula, yes, the Phimena won't get back to hand, but you can set K2, you can normal summon Lucias, and you can add a Phimena, and you can use that now.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And there it is.
This is the case, of course. what you just mentioned is literally happening right now on screen. And we can even use the effect of the new Albaz.
That's so,
sending the Albion,
strong.
activating the effect, and we know that there's not going to be a whole lot for Josh.
Fallen of the White Dragon, the most anticipated card from Burst Protocol, is here in action. I actually wanted to see Spenta a little bit more, the Magisto Sealer, I believe. Not seeing that anywhere, but right now we're going to see if we're going for some Ecclesia, the Black Dragon shenanigans. No, we Rahud.
True that.
We did Rahu, so actually that makes this a lot more difficult now for Diogo. That makes it really difficult for Diogo.
Yeah, you could see in his face cam, he's like kind of, do I get to 8,000?
Oh,
it's not that easy.
Do you
The
do this?
Albaz, we activate the effect, I guess.
But
Yeah,
where there is light, there's also shadow. Fallen.
And it's
Wait,
going to be the
no
mirror.
Albaz.
There's no Ray in the graveyard
No.
anymore. We banished it with the stick.
No, there's
there is
no-
a Ray in the
there is
graveyard.
again, there is again.
And Ray is such a good card. You would not
But
believe it.
you've
Against the
got
Mirror
the
Jade, it's really not that
yeah,
great, though.
you've got the
Yeah,
priority, so you can just use the Mirror Jade effect, and even if Josh responds with the Ray effect, I mean, the monster will get banished anyway, so I think this is just game.
Yeah, good point.
Just the thing is, we need another... Do we have another monster in our extra deck to send for Mirror Jade? Surely we have, right?
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
the,
I
think
we
so,
were playing
yeah.
a little
We
bit bigger
recycled
package.
everything.
Yeah,
Exactly. We still have the Ecclesia.
We recycled everything in the beginning that we sent, so there's everything you could ever send. So the thing is, if he doesn't use the priority to banish this, Josh has the opening to go into 0 and then use the pop effect.
I mean,
I don't think it changes anything, because if they activate the Ray, you just... Oh wait, it does change quite a bit.
it changes everything.
Oh wait, he actually gets to do it! He did not use his player priority.
Really?
Diogo on that side gives Josh the opening to go for the Sky Striker Ace 0. This card is going to enable him to tribute it. The Mirror Jade then is going to be completely useless, because even if you chain it now, there's nothing you could banish from the opposing side. And now, if he lets it go, I mean, he kind of has to, Mirror Jade might just be popped. Summon out Ray and Rose, and then Josh is barely going to take damage, has one more card in hand. That could have been the game for Diogo.
Yeah, and he realizes it. He sees that this is a pretty tough one, that he has kind of forgotten about that. And that's against those top-level players in the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. When you just give them a little opening, just that little moment where you forgot, it could immediately be completely changing everything.
There's also still the Lemnis Gate that you can you activate this here? Is it on a Link monster summon, or is it a Sky
No,
Striker
you can
Ace?
definitely activate it here.
Because then you can go into a Zeke.
yeah.
You go into Zeke, you banish the Arthalion, and then your opponent just passes on nothing. In the end phase, of course, is going to get destroyed.
Yeah, he's going to activate the effect of Lemnis Gate.
I think he went through
It's a Link
Zeke
one,
already.
though. Yeah, he did win. Oh, so it's
gonna be the
just
Kagari.
Oh, that makes
Kagari.
so much more sense.
Still fine.
This field is not going to make
If we
anything
survive the
here.
turn. If
Well,
we
what's
survive
gonna
the
come?
turn. I mean, there's, I think, technically still one unknown. Or does he have cards in hand?
He
He
has
doesn't,
no
right?
cards in
Oh, he
hand.
has no cards in hand. Then that is going to be quite a challenge. And I think you could also really tell by Joshua's reaction on how surprised he was that there was no priority of Mirror Jade being used on the summon of it. And this now changes everything up here. Game completely into a new direction once more.
Yeah, that changes everything, absolutely everything. From a game which was won, we go into a game which is probably lost, because we saw in Josh's hand, and there is a lot to do with the two cards, especially considering the fact that with the Kagari, you are not able to get back another resource.
And that is peak competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Right there for you fans, because you give your opponent an inch, they're gonna take a mile. This is a game that was already won for Diogo. If he just makes one right call, just one failed call from you can cost you the game against those top players in those top tables of YCSs.
Yeah, and then Sky Striker, of course, also a deck that is so rewarding in that instance, right? Because it just gives you the outplay possibility.
Gimme.
Has those cards that can generate advantage quickly, and that is going to be engaged. And we're thinking about chaining something, but Joshua's like, nah, let me see first what I'm going to get free off of that engage, as there are again free spell cards in the graveyard. That looks like a Widow Anchor to me there.
Yeah, I like the Widow Anchor here, because if Fallen the Virtuous is used, because the pop sometimes does not really help versus Sky Striker too much. If it's used to summon out a Fallen of Albaz from the graveyard, you want that anchor.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I think this is very well played from Josh. He's normal summoning the Rose.
Wait, that is super vulnerable. But wait, no, Fallen of Albaz doesn't have a card to discard.
It does not indeed. Okay.
What do you have? You can go for Mirror Jade here, right?
No, we can just, try to destroy it, yeah.
Yeah, that's much
That's
easier.
what we do. I mean, Joshua must have been aware of that, so there got to be a plan around that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Baiting out the Fallen and the Virtuous. I mean, even 2 winner anchors just taking control of these here, possibly turning them into something like the Sky Striker Ace Azalea could be cool.
Yeah, you need
see.
2 dark or light monsters, and there's 2 earth on the field, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, true. It's still so confusing to me that... oh yeah, the Fallen and the White is the light monster, right?
Yeah, but maybe there was also no really good target in the deck anymore after Pot of Desires. That card is somewhat of a double-edged sword in the Sky Striker strategy, because there are plenty of cards that you do not want banished. But Josh is aware that his opponent also has barely any resources.
We can chain the linkage right away here. Because remember, Diogo only has 3,900 life points, so there's not much to inflict if you want to win the game here. And I think it's going to be the case.
Yeah, and I think that was just a call battle phase and then activate Widow Anchor, chain, linkage, just attacks over the monster rolls effect.
It's gonna be it. It's gonna be it. Josh is winning the first game.
Opening hand, and now it's still baffling me that in 2026 by now, cards like Double Cyclone are all of a sudden top meta threats for a side deck against a deck with the power of this Draco Tail. Oh, we have the K2 Draco Tail hard draw. Nice.
Yeah, and I mean, this is something that I really like about the game, is that you're able to always find some new cards which are actually older than even you and me. And still, they find a way in the meta game because they find a use, and that is the beauty of this game. So yeah, Double Cyclone, such a strong card. Let's see if Josh has it in his side deck first and has it in his hand second. But for now, we're going to perform a very usual combo with the K2 Draco Tail, followed by the Rahu Draco Tail. It's something very standard.
A little interesting to me that Diogo has the Fallen of the White Dragon in hand, decided to go Rahu first, because then you shut yourself off of your Synchro monsters. And yes, of course, you can normal summon the Fallen of the White Dragon to just avoid this Synchro lock. But I mean, that doesn't help you at all
Maybe
anymore.
going this direction just plays a little bit into Fuvalos, I feel like. On the other hand, though, I think against the Draco Tail deck, Joshua would have activated Fuvalos in standby or draw phase
100%.
anyway, so that's not really something to consider. So I do agree, it's definitely a decision to go that way around.
And now we activated to summon from hand. We send something, of course, that works. I mean,
we at least get an extra Fallen in the Virtuous, yeah?
And an Ecclesia.
That is right.
And the Ecclesia too. Yeah, it's not too bad at all, I guess.
I don't think you really need the Black Dragon all of the time. While it's a really strong card, and it also helps you on the opposing turn.
But not able to do so, not able to do so. So maybe Diogo just forgot about that. You know, sometimes the pressure is on your shoulders and you do some little tiny mistakes.
Yeah, maybe we didn't play around all that. But that does happen, especially at the high tables. When you're playing versus a Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel World Champion, multiple times participant of the TCG WCQ.
Ooh, another on fusion summoning, yet I'm afraid because there is also the branded fusion.
Yeah, that's
from Diogo's side.
We got a lot of branded going on here.
Very much so. So I think the counterpart, the Fawn of Albas, will now also hit the graveyard. Fawn of the White Dragon, and I think that is now considered to be the standard ratio for the Draco Tail deck, right? That you play 2 Fawn of the White Dragon and 1 Fawn of Albas. You just can't miss out on Fawn of Albas.
It's just so much better. Your ceiling is so much higher all of a sudden because your Ecclesia on the opposing turn still does something. You can fuse away your opponent's monsters, especially if you're looking at the dragon that devours the Dogma. Because this card just fuses away 2 monster of your opponent, then destroys with their graveyard. It's incredible.
It's very, very strong.
We're summoning Titanic Lad with this here, which is an interesting decision, I would say. So that card doesn't provide too much on the opposing turn. I would have more so expected a Mirror Jade out of that, to be honest.
True. I was expecting the same, to be honest. And we're setting back the 3rd trap card. So we're going to have a decent amount of interaction during Josh's turn with the 3 trap cards, but also being able to set the Fallen the Virtuous in the end phase. Now normal summoning Lucius, adding 5 mana probably.
Malulu.
Malulu. Oh, we have the 5 mana, so yeah, this is the Malulu, of course.
Exactly. I think
limited to 1.
Diogo just tries to fill up every single zone there is.
That is the challenge right now, currently. But you guys were theorizing a little bit about double Cyclone. I feel like in this, not looking at the list of Joshua, in this specific deck, in Sky Striker, you have so many cards already that are so favorable against Dracotail. I don't necessarily think that is a deck where you want to add the double Cyclone in as well, because you already got all of those powerful cards for that matchup, and rather probably want to have cards for other matchups in your side deck.
I can see
maybe
that.
I will prove wrong here. As Joshua's turn shall start now. And do we have one of those powerful field-breaking cards, such as Lightning Storm or Harpy's Feather Duster?
That is very good. That is very good. And now we have to activate the flame, but there will be something else. There must be something else.
There must be.
Or he has 2 breakers. That's also possible. Can we see a mystical space typhoon onto the Harpy's Feather Duster? I would
be
love
insane.
to see that. It's
It
forbidden
is
droplet.
better. It is the card that also deals now with all the monsters on the field. For the moment, though, we only send 1 card. We only want to negate 1 monster. And to be fair, all of the monsters on the field of Diogo aren't really doing too much, so I do understand.
You just change Sting here so that you get a draw, of course.
And then I think even the Ecclesia is going to be the one negated, right? Because that one could summon out Fallen of Albus from the deck. The other cards really don't do anything.
Agreed.
So that is so much value. And of course you can chain Horn to get your Lukias back.
I mean, you chain everything. Literally. You want to get the draws.
Oh, but there also is Fallen the Virtuous on Joshua's end, sending his own Albion. So that Lukias will not hit the hand. And the more important part here even is, you get no draw. Diogo just loses out on that draw that he would have gotten off of Dracotail Horn.
Yeah, you get
sure,
the Sting.
the draw,
the Sting one.
but 1 draw less. So that can be very important, as all the resources that Diogo had really went into this field. So just making sure that there is less resource for the upcoming turn is huge.
But that's very interesting, because here Josh already used 3 cards in hand, so only 3 cards left. While
let's
Diogo
make
has
that
some
some
follow-up.
more.
Let's make it 4. Let's make it 4 if it
But
resolves.
the thing is, if you're seeing a Sky Striker player and this fragile deck activate a Pot of Desires early on in the turn, there's a good chance that there is not something else in hand, or you want to have 3 spells in graveyard. But I think we are already
We
at
already
3, right?
had.
It's Harpy's Feather Duster, Droplet, and Fallen and the Virtuous.
Oh wait, no, the Harpy's Feather Duster was banished actually.
Oh,
true. Vision. Oh, we are digging into that deck with all those draw spells. That is what this deck lost. Discarding another copy of the Fallen and the Virtuous.
Engage.
Come on, there
has
gotta
to
be
be
engaged.
engaged now. There
Maybe
has
a
to be
Ray.
engaged
Both would work perfectly well here, but Joshua looking into the graveyard.
He's
I'm not
checking
sure.
out this graveyard one too many times. It does not look like he has an easy way to access the Sky Striker Link monsters. It could be some, even if it's 2 Widow Anchors, I think at this point you just make Titaniclad and steal the Fallen of... No way, actually we do just have an answer.
It
But
looks like Rose, right?
Rose? Yeah.
but that would lose to 5 mana activation if you have another card in hand. Do you have another card? It looks like...
Yeah,
oh,
we drew
that's
cards.
a bunch
Yeah,
of cards.
definitely. We have the Mululu still as well. So Rose really not the perfect normal summon. And immediately Diogo this time. Last time he gave Josh the opener, but no time wasted. This time he finds the perfect moment to use that 5 mana, fusing away the Mululu and the Aphelion from the field, making plays for another Aphelion, and this one will just put that Rose back into the hand.
Oh, but now this
Maybe
opens
something
up
like a drone.
Thrust.
Thrust as
Talons.
well.
All of those
plenty of
cards.
cards.
Sky Striker is notoriously known for those power spells, as we call them, that can be used so well. Thrust that surges engage is one of the... That's one of the good things in life, right? That's one of the things you enjoy the most, when you can actually resolve that. Now, has Josh baited out the interaction that he wanted, or was this one too many? Shark Cannon is being used. Do we target a Dark Monster and then chain a Widow Anchor to go into Azalea, to go into the Sky Striker engine?
We could. Okay,
No.
we want the Urgula. I mean, that's a fight.
Okay.
Oh, there's the
that
linkage.
works.
So we get access to the link monsters right now with this spell card, and that's pretty good. It is going to be the Hayate, not the one that I expected, to be honest, but maybe with the Hayate we are able to just fill our graveyard with a Ray, for example, to be protected.
Oh, I could see some cool, good old Hayate Crash Send Ray, Effect Ray.
Sure.
Something like that, yeah, something like that that we can do, but it's not going to be the case, so maybe we are just going to dump something like an Engage.
It needs to be engaged. Like, I would be very surprised if this does not send engage to the graveyard. We were able to, in the battle phase, get rid of that Fallen of the White Dragon. And now in main phase 2, we just do it the classic old school way. We just go ahead, Hayate, Kagari. That's how we have always been doing it.
I mean, the classic old school way, that's not the greatest way to necessarily play it, right? Because you are losing your battle phase, and that is kind of useful. But of course, special summoning the Rose from hand to chain to this Kagari effect is really good, because now you can go into the zero, you can add back another engage from deck. And I think you're accumulating a bunch of cards in the graveyard. At this point, do you do a proactive, what's it called? Lemnis Gate?
I mean, there are multiple ways to just get rid of the field. Activating Lemnis Gate is one way to do so, but you also have the ability to just dismantle the field little by little, activating some Widow Anchor, for example, because you can do so much advantage thanks to the engage.
Ooh.
So I think it's going to be...
Okay, we are not using the effect to add anything from the graveyard or from the deck.
We popped the Rahu, no?
I think so, yeah, I would agree.
I mean, our opponent just used a 5 mana to discard the Molulu and use a monster from hand to just bounce the Rose we got back. So I think this is now a moment where you're trying to starve out your opponent from resources. That got really, really close to going wrong for Josh in the last game.
And now you can go into the Zeke, for example, to try to get rid...
That could have been a cool Excite Knight.
Could have not been, because linkage just locks you into Sky Striker monsters from the extra deck, but still that Zeke will do, and Zeke will go after.
Another monster will get banished. It will be the Arcelion. Yes, it will come back, but for now it is not in the equation anymore.
Oh, engage. Come on, we want to see more of that. We got to draw 2 with it, of course, as we have went through all of those spell cards.
Lemnis Gate is actually being added. The thing is, this Ecclesia on the field is kind of dangerous. If you destroy the Ecclesia, I don't even think it gets back in this end phase, because nothing was sent to the graveyard from the fusions, right?
For now, no fusion monster, because the Arcelion got banished and the Titanic Lad is still there.
If you bounce it to hand, I think you are in trouble. You leave the Titanic Lad
1, 2, 3. This is one of those dangerous situations where you give your opponent an opener. And in game 1, Joshua gave that opener to Diogo, which if he would have used that Mirror Jade on summon, Diogo could have capitalized, so he gets another chance here, as he did get in game 1.
Interesting scenario now, though, is... Oh, first of all, I don't think we have used our Albion in the end phase, so that means that Josh probably has drawn the next Fall and the Virtuous. That's a good tell.
I mean, we did discard for the Radiant Typhoon spell, the second copy of it.
I think we might have had 3. If
maybe 3 in total. Even Desires, of course, also resolved, so there may be gone another one. But Diogo, does he find a way to fusion summon? Okay, I mean, sure. We have gotten rid of the Rahu, desperately trying to make sure that there is no super powerful spell card for the Draco Tail deck, but there is just another one picked up from the top of the deck for Diogo.
So Ecclesia is not being changed. Otherwise, I could have seen something like chain Ecclesia, summon out a Fallen of Albas, and then try to go into the branded engine from the extra deck. But we've just searched for Lokias. We immediately fuse it away. Oh, that's an interesting choice there.
With the Titanic Lad, and we can go into Secretarian and bring back, for example, the Lucias to be able to add...
I don't think this Secretarian is going to bring anything.
I mean, you can try.
Yes.
You can try. That sounds like a plan.
That is true.
So will the plan be successful? I'm not sure about that.
We shall find out, I guess. First of all, though, we are resolving that Lucias, and Rahu Draco Tail finds its way into that
the next
spell trap zone.
Thing is, I think as Sky Striker, you just need to live this turn. Because your opponent has no traps in the deck anymore and needs to basically resolve a Shyla to get those trap cards back into the deck.
You can literally outgrind the opponent as Josh, and I think that it's what he's gonna try to do.
Shaulas, sorry.
Yeah.
With the Lemnis Gate, adding back all those resources to the deck and trying to outgrind Diogo. But it's going to be so interesting. You know, this is the type of games that I really like. So many micro interactions that lead to victory or defeat. It depends.
Now, Diogo, can he find a way out of this? Or is it once again going to be the almighty Joshua Schmidt taking another victory in one of our featured matches?
Now using effect of the...
I mean, honestly, Joshua is heavily invested into this second game because let's face it, the clock is ticking down quite noticeably. So 13 minutes, we will need to make sure that this second game is the one that decides the outcome of this match. Otherwise, we're going to get into some time trouble there for that third game. But first of all, it's on Diogo bringing out that Fallen of Albas. He has every right to keep on trying. And he discards Fallen and the Virtuous.
Yeah, and you were right, of course. There is another copy of the Fallen Virtuous sending the Ecclesia. So even more grand game because on Josh's turn, he is going to be able to use the Ecclesia's effect to get rid of one of the threats on the Dracotail side. So even more advantage here for Josh, who is probably going to survive this turn.
I think that Diogo just announced end phase because he was pointing at his Titanic lad.
Yep.
Yeah, true. Absolutely. So he's going to be able to special summon. But I've got the feeling that it's not going to be enough because Josh, he has plenty of cards.
It's very interesting that you said that earlier, Basti, about the time ticking down, because we have talked to the Dutch national runner-up this year, and he said, I love Sky Striker, but the only problem that the deck has is only 50 minutes of time.
That's what he said, and that's maybe a thing to consider for Joshua as well. But I feel like when Joshua Schmidt goes into a tournament, every single detail will be considered, and
especially
therefore,
versus detail.
therefore, he probably came prepared for all of this. Okay, we are now going
even
with
more
a
advantage.
vision, right? He has a vision, another YCS title in mind.
Discarding another one, and now he has everything that he needs, I guess.
I mean, the only thing you need as a Sky Striker player really is an N-Gage, but also you'll need some cards in your deck to search with the N-Gage, and I think after a Pot of Desires,
that is right, that is right. We don't know which cards got banished, but we've got some cards back in the deck previously, thanks to the Lemnis Gate.
And of course, this almost looks comical using those Synchro and Fusion Monster effects in the Sky Striker deck, which of course is a pure Link deck, but that just gives us the option to send one card from our opponent. Diogo did that in game one. Oh, it's just the battle phase though. Joshua seems like he is struggling a little bit here, as he can only provide that little bit of damage, but there is linkage in the battle phase. Prove me wrong with Joshua, because that could lead to a whole lot of damage.
Yep, he is going to go for a zero. Attacks with a zero, knows there can't be a forbidden droplet, so I can freely just attack and then use that effect. The only card that could stop you then would be Called by the Grave when you try to tag out. No, you're actually activating the effect to add back the linkage, probably.
Yeah, gotta be.
Is he trying to activate the... Oh, he's keeping the Lemnis Gate as follow-up.
Now I think we go for the damage with that. This was... Is there still... There is Zeke... no, there is both Sky Striker attributes, both light and dark in the graveyard, right? So that was plenty of damage there provided by the zero. So Diogo is down to 3,500, but no further thing from Joshua. Immediately though, the draw phase, he knows what that set card is, and he doesn't want it there, so he activates the effect of zero as quickly as he can, getting those two Sky Striker main deck monsters out, and bye-bye Rahu Dracotail once again.
And we can see all the power of the Sky Striker engine outgrinding the opponent, being able to remove the threats every single turn, thanks to the zero. The zero is so good in this deck, being able to add back some resources, but also being able to destroy all the Rahu, the Ketus, and all the set cards of the Dracotail matchup. And now we see that it's pretty hard, because usually we think that Dracotail has such a grindy game, but here, against Josh and the Sky Striker, it looks like it doesn't have any great game. That's insane.
When the Harpy's Feather Storm hits you. Harpy's Feather Duster.
No storm, please.
Okay, no, sorry. The Harpy's Feather Duster hits you in combination with the Forbidden Droplet now, Kagari. Adding back this Engage, but now there is a problem for Josh, and that is the main monster zone is occupied. Ecclesia is being activated now. So Widow Anchor is not an option anymore.
But we have some other tools. We saw the Forbidden Droplet earlier, so it might be the case. Maybe one of the set cards is this Forbidden Droplet. And on top of that, we have the Lemnis Gate, which does not require to have empty monster zones.
That is a lonely Ecclesia there on the field. Diogo not able to use the effect even, so he just normal summons it and passes back over to Joshua, who now sees more than an opener to close out this game, close out this match. Turns that Rose into attack position, and I think this, I mean, that Kagari is big, right? So this could almost be game, but no Hayate
It will be the Hayate.
Oh, Hayate for Crash.
Oh yeah, that's game for sure.
Is the Ecclesia going to activate anything? No. We get our Rayback, only 3,500 life points. Attack.
And then using the effect of Ray to special summon from the extra deck and try to win the game right away. Diogo knows it, and there is the fist bump.